know there's only a matter of time until I'm banned from every single social media and I don't exist anymore. It's fine. I exist in the real world, in your nightmares, like Freddy Krueger.
I understand that you get 3 strikes in this game. Strike 1 is they try and shut you up and discredit you, which I've just been through. Strike 2 is they try and put you in jail for no reason, and strike 3 is they kill you. And one of my strikes is now gone, and I now firmly believe that they're gonna try and kill me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, what do you think of Andrew Tate?
He seems more influential to the younger guys.
The influence I have over the one demographic they're most fearful of, the young military-age males. Those are the ones you need to be the backbone of the slave force.
I really didn't know too much about Andrew Tate.
Now that you've looked at him, what's your first impression?
So, I don't like the things that he says, right?
Well,
I mean, like, I think, okay, it's a mixed bag, right? So I think that some of the things that he says is important, right? He talks about like alpha male and like, you know, the importance of, you know, male figures and things like that. But I don't like the way that he talks about females or like, you know, how he diminishes females, right?
Ooh.
I'm a crazy misogynist. People's sisters randomly hate you for no reason.
I'm new to Andrew Tate as well. My brothers told me about him over the holidays.
Plan for what is difficult while it is easy. Do what is great while it is small.
Here's Andrew Tate's take on mental health.
Stop telling people that they can't fix it. Stop telling them it's a disease that's not their fault. And start telling people, look, if you work hard, go to the gym and you work out and you train, you get a good body, you start getting social, you get some friends, go to some social clubs, start to meet people, start to do things, you will feel better. That is far more healthy than talking about it's a disease we can't fix, take these pills.
Mental health, it's not a disease you can't fix without pills. You can fix it through personal responsibility. I like all the sound bites I'm seeing from him about personal responsibility.
Right.
If you're raised too soft, then you're not ready for the world. Like, I had to face all my fears instantly all the time. That's who my father was. So now if I have a fear to face now as a man, my entire life, I've just faced them instantly. That's just who I am. It's what I do, right? And we're all human. We all get scared.
Andrew Tate talks about masculine men and how much they are needed in society, yet not respected.
There's a large contingent of men out there who don't want to wear makeup, who don't want to be girls, who don't want to be told they're toxic because they want to go to the gym, who want to drive nice cars, who want to have money, who want to have hot chicks. And there's nothing wrong with us. We are not evil. We are not bad. We're not misogynistic. We're not out to hurt anybody. Let me tell you one more thing. When bad things happen, they call men like us. The second they have trouble, they'll call a police officer. Do you think they want a feminist male to turn up or a man like me and you? They need us and they use us. But the second we have an opinion, the second I decide to voice and talk about the things that we talk about, explain our points of view, they want to cancel us. They don't want us to speak. They just want us to defend them, build the railroads, build the roads, be the workhorses, be the slaves. And they think we're not allowed our point of view.
It's true.
That's true.
And
That's a true clip.
we're going to get into the allegations of, against him, the charges. He's still in Romanian jail.
Right.
A court just threw out his appeal to get out of jail.
Yeah.
They're upholding the 30-day arrest while they investigate him. The Romanian Anti-Organized Crime Agency identified 6 women who were subjected to acts of physical violence and mental coercion. Meanwhile, prosecutors seized 15 of his luxury cars.
Shoo.
Yeah. We're going to get into the latest allegations against him because more are mounting, but let's look at women's take on Andrew Tate.
There's endless videos on TikTok of people going up to women on the street going, what do you think of Andrew Tate? The girls will say, I hate him, I hate him. They say, why? He talks bad about women. And then they say, what does he say bad? Every single one of them goes, can't remember. They don't even know. They're NPCs.
How do you feel about him getting arrested?
I didn't know that happened, to be perfectly honest.
Do you like him?
No.
Why?
He hates women.
Well, what makes you say that? I agree. Do you like him?
I mean, not really.
Why is that?
I mean, it seems, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
I get what you're trying to tell me. Andrew Tate is?
Yeah.
How do you feel about him getting arrested? Why do you say that? No, bro.
Oops.
Okay, so you said you weren't a fan either.
Now, okay, here's the thing. I watched, which we'll get into with the Vice leaked audio, if it is him, okay?
Uh-huh.
And I have seen a video of him, you know, I don't know if it's like this BDSM type of thing that he does with his ex-girlfriend. in which like I don't like the way he was talking in that video. You know what I mean? So
there's a sex video you saw?
it's like they're fully clothed, but she has like this like it's not necessarily BDSM. She's in her lingerie or whatever, and he's basically like domineering over her, like you're gonna like, or he was talking to her like I don't know, like it be in like that scene or whatever.
Like you're gonna like being
It was
controlled?
a bit aggressive. It was just really aggressive. He was like, I don't know. I can't recall the exact, but I didn't like that, right? Now, when it comes to what they said, like him getting arrested and all that, I don't believe that that's cool. Like people are just kind of like flippantly okay with it just because they don't like Andrew Tate. So that's like my take on it. I think you do need evidence, and I think that needs to be proven. It needs to be corroborated, and that's just with any case. So that's what I think about it. Just because I don't like what he said in that video, that doesn't constitute that what's being done to him right now is just. Right.
Correct. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there's actual evidence. I read some details. It looks like there's not a lot of evidence other than the women's allegations, verbal allegations saying he did this to me. Physical violence and mental coercion. Is mental coercion illegal? What's going on? Think for yourself.
Right. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people, what they have done is they have really widened the definition of human trafficking, and that's a problem. So, I personally find that a problem, being an anti-trafficking advocate myself. You have to have concrete evidence for fraud, forced fraud or coercion. That is the definition within the human trafficking for human trafficking. So if it's just mental coercion and fraud, is he the next question is, okay, if that's the allegation, then did he force you to have sex? Did he transaction the the sex, right? Did he force you to have sex with other men? So that's where you want to get a more investigative and kind of extract that type of data and information.
Right.
So if it's just mental coercion, if it's like he manipulated me and all these things, it's like I still need more details. I still need to know more as to what is equal to the allegations, like what the allegations actually are, the concrete allegations. What equates to that as far as his actions?
Okay, so let's look at his apparent actions. We have this Vice News exclusive. There he is.
I heard this audio and I was like, oh, I hope that's not him.
I love to rape you, he says. Allegedly. Okay, and this is the audio we're going to play. Warning, sexual language. Here it is.
Yeah.
Am I a bad person? Because the more you didn't like it, the more I enjoyed it. I fucking loved how much you hated it. Turn me on. Why am I like that? Why? I am one of the most dangerous men on this planet. Sometimes you forget exactly how lucky you were to get fucked by me. Would you rather me pin you down and make you do things you didn't like, or would you rather fuck? You didn't like that I was thinking I can do whatever I want to. That's what it is. I'm the smartest person on this fucking planet. Are you seriously so offended I strangled you a little bit? You didn't fucking pass out. Chill the fuck out. Jesus Christ. I thought you were cool. What's wrong with you?
Woof.
I know
That's crazy.
That's intense if that is him.
If that's real, yeah, it sounds like his voice. So those are allegedly audio memos, voice memos that he had sent her on WhatsApp. This girl that he had dated in 2013, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And she also shared some messages from WhatsApp. Actually, they put those in the article as well. If he's saying what he's saying there, he's basically admitting that he knows that she wasn't about it.
Right.
And he was forcing her, and she should feel honored.
Right.
That he forced her.
Yeah. See, that's not cool. If that is cool. Audio from Andrew Tate, like this is Andrew Tate saying all these things, that's not cool. Exactly what you said.
He says, I love raping you on WhatsApp and watching you let me while still debating if it's a good idea or not. And then monsters are monsters. When you're under my control, I do whatever I please. And then you were my whore when I had my hands on you. And Vice says these are recreations that they did of his WhatsApp messages. They didn't do his actual message just to protect her identity, I guess. So Vice typed that up themselves. Did they also recreate his voice in the audio clip we just heard?
Right.
His supporters say yes. They believe this is
That's
all
what I've
a
seen.
hit piece.
Yeah. That's what I've seen as well.
But the audio seemed pretty authentic. Let's look at Andrew Tate's reaction to this. There's on his Twitter, even though he's in jail,
Yeah,
he's been tweeting up a storm.
I know.
Someone's tweeting for him. But anyway, Andrew Tate and his people responded on Twitter to Vice's article, shouting out Vice and what they feel are Vice's actual intentions. Andrew Tate retweeted this guy who said, "This is what you claim to be reliable news media. Vice has a history of untrustworthy journalism. Not only this, they were on the verge of collapsing, but wait, they needed something to bring them back from the dead. A mega story, a worldwide headline, Q, hashtag Andrew Tate." Okay, click the images and see what they're tweeting here. At Vice, cutting edge media and allegations of old school sexual harassment. So they're saying that Vice is doing the same thing, but look at the other slides they posted. Vice Media has hired financial advisor to seek a buyer, maybe selling itself in pieces. Basically, slideshows of them having big financial issues. The reason those lies were so successful is because even we believe them after a while. And then Disney put more than $400 million to Vice Media. Now it says that investment is worthless. So basically, Vice is struggling because there's such fake news. That's Andrew Tate's reaction. He feels he and his people, and whoever's tweeting that,
Right.
It's a total hit piece.
And so, I say, okay, that's fine. Like, if they feel that way, I still feel like we still need that corroborative, whether or not it's fake. We need like something. And here's the thing, like, to what I'm saying, a lot of his ex-girlfriends have come out and said, you know what, like, he ain't like that. Like, we've been with him and all these things. I don't know if
that he's like a good guy to them.
Yeah, like that he's been respectful and all these things.
So in that Vice article, the girl goes in detail. She had gone on several dates with Andrew Tate, and they had kissed before, but then she went back to his place one time, and they start making out like on his bed, and then he like tried to take her clothes off, and she was like, "No, I'm not ready for that." And then they keep making out. Then he, at one point, he just like lays on his back on the bed, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm contemplating whether or not I should rape you."
Oh,
this is her story, and she's like, "What?" And then he gets up and decides to rape her. That's her story.
Okay.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and another thing about this whole thing, here's the thing, like, I feel like we all have to have a balanced level of thinking about all of this, right? Like, yeah, I don't like the way, like, I've seen his clips with his ex-girlfriend and the way he talks to her and all these things. If that clip, which is what loaded me up before even coming on the episode, because I heard that clip before we even did this, that's what kind of gave me the idea, like, I don't like the way he talks about women, so that's where my comments derived from. However, we can't just blindly defend him, but also we can't automatically say that he's guilty. We need evidence, we need corroboration, we need more than that. So I don't know, like, I feel like we just need to see how time unravels all this. But also, what I was going to say before I chased a squirrel there is that all of this is convenient timing. He was really getting at the media, really getting at the establishment, all these things, and then all of a sudden he gets arrested.
Totally. Yeah. So Jedediah Bila, formerly of Fox, she tweeted, "Andrew Tate is unique. Here's why. 1, he's inspiring men to be proud of their masculinity. The Matrix only succeeds if men are weak. Number 2, he's taking on climate agenda and the pandemic agenda, pivotal Matrix tools to control you. And number 3, his reach is enormous. The Matrix loathes this guy."
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So he's a free thinker. He's well spoken. He has that aura about him that
Mhm.
attracts followers.
Right.
And okay, so another man replied to her. He said, "No, Andrew Tate is not unique. One, he's a porn peddler, the least masculine trait. He's in the Matrix. He promotes the Matrix lifestyle of using women as objects. Three, that's why he was useful to the Matrix until he went off script on a few things. He's controlled opposition."
Right. Right. Well, yeah. I mean, and that's another narrative that I see coming from, the conservative side as well, that he's control ops and, he's a psyop and all these things. I just think, like, I personally, I can't see how he is controlled opposition all the way, right? I definitely feel that the truth is coming out of somebody where, here's the thing, like, when the truth comes out of somebody who's very fractured, then it's easily portrayed as somebody's a controlled opposition. So,
Right. What do you mean by fractured?
so, like, for instance, like, this isn't new to anybody. Like, Andrew Tate has had, people come at him in the past for his past content, the things that he's said. So, for instance, this is just an example. Before he even got arrested the second time for human trafficking, because I think he got arrested or accused the first time. There was a clip that resurfaced of him talking about Romania and how, he liked living in Romania because the sexual assault laws or the sexual allegation laws are a lot more lax.
Really?
Yes.
Probably 14% of the reason I moved to Romania, because in Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. If you're going to go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988, they're going to say we should have done something about it then. If you go to the police and say he raped me yesterday, say, okay, if you got physical evidence, or is there CCTV proof? Where did it happen? Okay, let's go interview him right now. And if it wasn't really rape, I'd say, we went to the club, we got drunk, she agreed to go back to my house, we started having sex, and then we carried on having sex, and then we had sex, and she didn't say anything wrong, and then she texted me afterwards, and I didn't text back, and now she's saying I raped her. The police would be like, okay, she's an idiot, bye. But no, not in the West. In the West, you can tell them that exact story, you're still fucked. You're fucked in the West. When people say, why did you live in Romania? And I explain my 5 reasons. One of them is the Me Too era. They go, oh, well, you're a rapist. I say, no, I'm not a fucking rapist. But I like the idea of being able to just say, to do what I want. I like being free. And if you're a man living in England or Germany or America or any of the Western world right now, you've decided to live in a country where any woman, any ex, any fucking bitch who works at Greg's who you bought a pasty from, at some point in the future can destroy your life. This Me Too era bullshit has not protected women. It's just destroyed the safety of men.
The truth is coming out about climate change and about the planpocalypse and, Coco-19 and all that, right? But then it's coming out of a fractured person who can easily get swept away by the authorities. So I could see why people think he's controlled ops.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just so much stacked up against him. I don't know what to think, to be honest with you, completely.
Yeah,
Yet.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I learned about him just over the holidays from my brothers who are huge fans of him.
Oh, really?
And the clips that they shared, I really liked some of the clips like we shared today about, personal responsibility, hard work.
Yeah, those are good clips.
He talks about like why he doesn't do drugs, and he tells men not to touch drugs or video games. Instead, get out there and push your body to the max, which will grow your mental state to the max, which will make you strong in all areas,
which is good,
and a leader, and you'll have a successful life. And look, women, I think a lot of women want to be with a man like that. They want to serve their man like that. They want a man. Women only want to be submissive to a real man.
Right.
Women hate being submissive to a beta boy. And so he's talking about becoming the man that a woman is gonna like almost want to be controlled by.
Yeah. and like I definitely see where like the culture is kind of taking it. It's like either extreme one side or the other. I see where a lot of the like radical feminism has driven guys into this like point where it's like, like screw all of this, right? We're not bowing down to this narrative or anything like that. But I've seen it where not all guys, but I've seen it where there is a culture of men that are just like, all allegations are are false, right? Like all of these allegations, like if a woman, if a victim speaks out about like sexual allegations, it's like there is a faction of men that have been hurt, right? And rightfully so. They might have been accused themselves wrongfully, but it does damage the culture so much where it's like, you know, all women are lying, or like, you know, none of them are telling the truth. It's just Kavanaugh over and over again. So it's like, it's weird because we don't really have a balance right now, because radical feminism has destroyed that.
Right.
So.
There's been so many apparent false accusations that now when there's a real one, it's like really hard to believe.
Yeah.
And when you look at the actual audio that does appear to be him, and then you hear her story, you're just like, I mean, I do tend, that's a rare case where I do tend to believe it, actually. And some men do get a little bit too entitled about females and controlling them.
Right.
And I was hoping that Andrew Tate was not that way.
Right.
But well, I don't know. We'll see. These sorts of cases are so hard to nail down the truth about, and sexual assault allegations are one of the easiest ways to take down a powerful man.
Right.
So I always approach that information cautiously, wondering if it's false because they just want to take down the man. But anyway, we have a clip of him talking about how to raise kids. Let's look at what he says here.
How would you raise your daughters and your sons in this growing clown world that we have nowadays, where men and women are the same, and we have 29, 30, 100 genders, etc.? How would you raise your kids in today's crazy ass world?
It's a good question, man. It's hard because you're trying to purport your worldview on your children. You want them to be replicas of you, but we're living in a world where they have more and more access to the matrix than ever before. In the days of old, your wife would stay at home, you'd go to work, and when you were at home, you were the man of the house. And when you weren't home, your wife adopted your mindset and she was the woman of the house. And the children spent a lot of time around you, listening to you and how you think and how you feel. But now we have two parents, both have to go to work. The kids are left on their own, either watching YouTube and all its bullshit or going to school and all its bullshit. Like, a lot of parents have very little influence over their children anymore. The Matrix has influence over their children. The Matrix is raising them. And it's difficult. You're going to have to create that. And you're going to have to sit there and spend conscious time and genuine effort to explain to the children that they're being lied to. I was very fortunate. I had the best father on the planet. And even at the age of 10 or 11, I remember sitting with my dad watching the news head to toe. And after the news was finished, my dad would turn to me and say, son, all of that was bullshit. I said, what do you mean it was bullshit? It was on the TV. Son, they lied to you. All of that was bullshit. So I was explained from a very young age that the TV's a lie and the news is a lie and they're all lying to you. But most kids don't have that, right? Most kids just sit there and they just absorb it all in their brains, and the parents don't take any effort to try and change how they think. It depends how much you care about your kids and if you really care about your last name and your bloodline and your legacy. I know for a fact that when I'm gone, there will be another Andrew Tate on the internet saying the same kind of shit I'm saying about the Matrix. I know that because he will be my son. And there's no way I'm going to have my son raised to be anything else. My son will be a project in which I will instill the best things about myself. It'll be a better version of even me. He'll be Top G 2.0. I know that that's going to happen, but that's because I'm going to be having children specifically with the end goal of creating replicas of me to fight the Matrix. When I have a son, it's not, let me just have a kid. It's like, okay, I've had a child for a reason. And it's different, right? Some people start YouTube channels to mess around. Some people start YouTube channels to build something. It depends what you're having kids for. If you're having kids for the right reasons, then you're going to make sure they resist the slave mind.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
So that was thought-provoking, and I tend to agree with it too. So I haven't heard too much other than that rape audio that I disagree with. The rape audio I disagree with.
Yeah, that's wild. That stuff is wild.
So apparently, this girl finally came forward this week. The latest rape accuser, she said she was inspired by the other women who accused him, who are the reason he's in jail right now. Now, his two female assistants were also arrested when he and his brother were arrested, and we have this perp walk of his assistant being questioned about Andrew Tate. She defends him vehemently. Here it is.
A fost o adevărată complice sau sunt acuzațiile fondate? Ați asistat la momente de abuzuri ale fraților Tate?
Nu suntem nevinovați, e un dosar fabricat în totalitate. Nu există niciun fel de probă.
Cine ar fi fabricat acest dosar?
Din străinătate sunt ordinele.
De aceea are cineva ceva probleme cu frații Tate?
Da, pentru că spun adevărul, care dor.
Dar ei se purtau frumos și civilizat cu femeile?
Toată lumea, nu am fost abuzată nici eu niciodată. Cum ajutați niște infractori?
Șuter la ușă.
De ce crezi că a fost fabricat dosarul?
Probe împotriva mea, nu e nicio probă împotriva mea.
Și cine a fabricat acest dosar? Cine stă în spatele dosarului?
Regretați că ați ajuns să colaborați cu frații tăi, personaje
Nici nu au făcut nimic, sunt nevinovați. Doar că au vorbit prea mult și au supărat oameni suspuși.
Ați racolat fetele?
Hai cu
She says they talk too much and scared high-ranking people. A lot of people think that Andrew Tate's just getting a little bit too much of a cult following.
Right.
An anti-establishment following.
And
we
it
can't
very
have
well
that.
could be that. It very well could be that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think, like I said, we just have to have a really level, balanced way of thinking about all of this because, yes, he did say some things, right? Even before the Vice audio leak or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was saying, he did say on the podcast, I moved to Romania for a specific reason because the laws were more lax and all these things.
Yikes.
But we also have to consider the evidence, right? If there is no evidence, then there's not a lot of bite to the allegations. And besides just the anonymous sources, that's another thing that I forgot to mention too.
Yes, they're being anonymous, right? Regardless, I really hope that he actually treats women better than it may be.
Right.
But regardless, I think he's doing a lot to help young men, and men need a lot of support, especially in issues like mental health. The biggest group of people who commit suicide are like younger men.
Right.
And so he's out there tweeting about mental health, like in a way that gets to the men. Like he tweeted about PTSD this way. He said, I've endured events that I remember and feel instant fear. Adrenaline shocks my system. Then I pause. Remember I survived and I can't wipe the smile off my face. My memories are an indefatigable source of elation, of relief. How could I ever be depressed?
Interesting
way of talking about PTSD that empowers the sufferer of it and tells them how to handle it, I guess.
Well,
So there's a lot that I like about him, and the rumors I'm hearing about rape, I do not like.
Exactly.
That's my take.
Exactly. I mean, I think that's like that is the takeaway, right? I mean, no dude should talk to a woman like that, especially against her will, if that stuff was real, right? Like that's real recording. And that is a very toxic culture that I hope we do eradicate. I mean, we just need more upright men who know how to talk to women. And, I don't know, like that whole culture to me is weird. Like,
the culture of controlling women?
Yeah, controlling women and women liking it and all these. I just like.
You don't understand that?
I don't
understand that.
I don't like it.
So I will say that for a lot of women, if a man is truly alpha and he has calm confidence, he's chasing the life that he wants and he's proud of who he is, he'll have this sort of aura that Andrew Tate puts out of like extreme confidence and
that's fine.
And it actually makes women want to do whatever the man wants. But to force a woman is wrong.
Right.
But you should have the alpha confidence that actually inexplicably causes a woman to do whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, if you explain it that way, then yes, I can agree to that. It's just not the force, fraud, coercion part where it's like, let's manipulate, psychological abuse and all that.
Yeah.
Like that part's
that's
not
gross.
cool. Yeah, that part's
that's
not cool.
gross. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Joe Biden.
Uh-oh.
He's another person who's in trouble. Joe Biden got accused of having classified documents at his home and at another office. The classified documents just keep appearing. He had a few things to say about that. Let's look at what Joe Biden said.
And I was briefed about this discovery and surprised to learn that there were any government records that were taken there to that office. But I don't know what's in the documents. I've My lawyers have not suggested I ask what documents they were. I've turned over the boxes. They've turned over the boxes to the archives, and we're cooperating fully.
So Joe Biden has no idea what the documents are, what's in them, and his lawyers told him, don't even ask. So he's not gonna. Okay, Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, knows all about it. Here's what he said.
On December 20th, President Biden's personal counsel informed Mr. Lausch that additional documents bearing classification markings were identified in the garage of the president's private residence in Wilmington, Delaware. President Biden's counsel informed Mr. Lausch that those documents were among other records from the period of the president's service as vice president. The FBI went to the location and secured those documents.
More documents.
That's hilarious. What do you think it is?
Okay, you want my take?
Yeah.
This is a setup. Biden didn't have classified documents, just like Trump didn't, just like a lot of people, including one of the key guys associated with January 6th who didn't have classified documents either, Jeremy Brown. This is one of the easiest way to accuse someone to take them down, because you can't show the public what the classified documents are because they're classified. So the public will never get to see. So you can make up the story and say it's legit. We're just hiding the evidence because it's classified. Super easy way to take someone down.
Yeah.
Why do they want to take Biden down? Because he's absolutely losing it. It's a bad look for the Democrat Party. He just commemorated January 6th and called it July 6th. He's literally losing it. And it's becoming so embarrassing. And like we talked, I had Emerald Robinson on Truth Bombs last week, and she talked about, nobody in the Democrat Party expected Biden to make it this long, but he just keeps going. So now they gotta come up with something to take him down so they can install the next person. So let's throw some classified document allegations at Biden. And Joe, I know you don't remember them ever being there, and don't ask what they are. But you're accused, Joe.
Right.
And he's like, okay, well, I'll comply. And he's so clueless about everything right now.
Yeah.
Very easy person to take out. And this is how they take Joe Biden out.
I concur.
To install the next person.
I believe the same thing. I think, Kamala is probably going to be installed. And
100%.
I think that's like the most streamlined way to get him out. I mean, but the thing is, like, they could have, what makes me question is, like, they could have claimed the 25th Amendment, something about, like, mental disability or something like that with the president, and they could have
gotten him out that way.
Yeah.
Mental health.
Yeah, so that's the only thing. But I don't know, maybe this way has more merit.
I think it's an easier way. Because it could have been trickier to say his mental health isn't all there, because sometimes he does seem a little bright.
Right.
But this way is really quite easy. So Karine Jean-Pierre was just questioned about Joe Biden's account of where his lawyers were cleaning out his stuff. Since when do his lawyers randomly clean out his stuff?
It's like a lawyer cleaning service?
Yeah, exactly. And they stumble across classified documents. Hey, Joe, we were cleaning your garage for you. Why were you doing that, lawyers? Since when do lawyers? And, you have some stuff you're not supposed to have. So I guess they tell him where they found his stuff. And then Merrick Garland has another story about where the documents were. And so a reporter asked Karine Jean-Pierre to clarify where the documents really were. Here it is.
The special counsel's, the White House counsel's statement this morning said that documents were found in the president's Wilmington residence garage and in an adjacent room. But when the president mentioned this himself in person earlier, he said they were found in storage areas and in his personal library. So can you just clear this up? Which room, where were the documents actually found in his residence?
Okay, so let me just step back because I know all of you will have a lot of questions. So I'll lay this out very clearly and precisely. I want to make sure no one is confused. As you just said, Mary, as soon as the president's lawyers found these documents, they immediately contacted Archives and Department of Justice, as I've said many times. times already to ensure that they were handled properly. The president has said this. We are being fully cooperative with the Department of Justice throughout this process. As part of the president's lawyers look through the places where documents could have been stored, and the counsel's office released, as you said, a statement explaining that. So I would refer you back to the statement. I don't have anything more to say, but that search was completed last night, and now this is in the hands of the Justice Department. So look, I want to be very prudent here, as I said yesterday, as you all have reported over and over again. About any questions about this, any specifics, there's a review going on, and I would refer to Department of Justice or my colleagues in the counsel's office. But again, I'm just not going to go beyond what the president said. We just laid out the process that was taken.
It sounds like you're saying we should go off of the council statement saying it was found in the garage in an adjacent room.
I'm just saying I'm not going to go beyond what the president said. I'm not going to. I completely understand. I just want to be very careful because there is an ongoing investigation. I want to be prudent here and make sure if you have any additional questions about where things were found, again, I refer you to the statement. I'm not going to go beyond what the president said.
How can someone take that long to say absolutely nothing?
Oh,
she literally had nothing to say.
Goodness. I mean, but KJP is like the professional gaslighter of our time.
Totally.
She is such a professional at gaslighting the major public. This is not a surprise to me, but yeah, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
So funny.
Wasted everyone's time right there. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to show. But no, I saved you guys some time because I watched like this whole presser with KJP. And she gets asked every single question about this that she gets asked. She literally repeated those same talking points like 10 times. And in Newsmax was playing it, and they're like, okay, we're going to cut away from her because we know the talking points she's saying at this point. She's literally again and again. Sorry, I can't say this or that or this about this, but the Justice Department is doing this same BS. So she had nothing to say about it.
Of course.
But I do believe it's an operation to oust Biden so that they can get, I guess the next person would have to be Kamala then.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can, salvage themselves for 2024 if they get Biden out now. I think that's what they're thinking.
You don't want to know my other thoughts.
What's your other thoughts?
I'm hoping for a QAnon dream now.
Oh,
I'm hoping that the military comes in, they arrest everybody, and like JJT is back in office. Like that's my fantasy right now. But hey, look, is it like literally? Is it too far off from where we're living at? Like everything seems like a show now. It seems like we're living through a movie.
So fake. Everything's so fake, But I don't think this is like Trumpites doing this to Biden. These are Democrats doing it to their own guy.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
Their own guy is acting such a fool.
Yeah, that's true.
They gotta like save face.
But it's like what? Like 3 years in now? Like, they could have done this. You know what I mean? You could have done this 2 years ago or something. I don't know. Like they decided like 3 years in that this is the time to do. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They gave him his time, and now it's time to start campaigning
Democrats
for
are
2024, and they need someone else to campaign, not him.
That's insane.
And so let me just say, we saw how they did this to Trump. Ooh, you have classified documents. Now, Jeremy Brown's case is very important. U.S. Special Forces retired Green Beret. He was a part of the Oath Keepers, and the FBI recruited him to be undercover
informant
and infiltrate the Patriot movement to try to take people down, send patriots to jail. This was prior to January 6th. And he recorded the FBI recruiting him, shut them down the request, said, I'm not interested in that, and hung on to the recording. He had video of them coming to his door. He had audio of them doing the request. He had audio of them talking about how they collab with Facebook and Twitter.
Of course.
And, all the dirt. And he just kept quiet about it. He attended January 6th as personal security for some of the speakers. I guess he didn't enter the Capitol, according to news reports. And, was just there as like private security. They left him alone after January 6th. He starts to see what's happening to other patriots, how they're locking all these patriots up, and he thinks back to when they tried to recruit him, and he says, I think this was all a part of their plan to take down innocent patriots. I need to drop the audio recordings to help people know that this was all a setup from the start, because they met with him the December before January 6th as they were trying to do this setup.
Interesting.
So he drops the audio recordings with an independent journalist and the video showing them coming to his house. And shortly after that, he starts being investigated for his role in January 6th.
So dirty.
They then say, we're going to have to search your house. And FBI uncovers unregistered guns, grenades, and classified documents. Here's why I'm tying this in. He had classified documents at his house all of a sudden. All of a sudden.
Wow.
He was perfectly fine. They weren't looking at him until he dropped the dirt on the FBI. Then the FBI came after him.
No, we've got these sparkly documents.
Yeah. So he was tried last month in federal court, and the jury decided that he was guilty of possessing a CD that said like secret on it. It was in his wife's car. For some reason, his wife decided to keep the CD of government
secrets,
government secrets involving something that happened in Iraq. What? And then 2 guns and I think 2 hand grenades.
Okay, wild.
Now, when his attorney showed the evidence that when the FBI went to search his property, they turned off all surveillance cameras. Why would they turn off surveillance cameras?
Right.
Unless they were going to plant evidence.
Right.
Plant a CD that then can be uncovered. Here's a photo of the CD in wifey's glove compartment or whatever for some reason.
With an obvious CD of secrets.
Right? Like what this many years after he retired from Special Forces, she just drives around with those secret documents on it. Classified documents.
Going to the grocery store, honey, got some classified documents in my glove compartment.
So he admitted that the 2 guns were his, that they weren't registered. But the hand grenades, he says those were planted as well. Nevertheless, he's off to prison, and he's actually been jailed, I think, for over a year, and beyond that, just awaiting trial.
That's
so he's getting locked away because he told the truth about the FBI by simply releasing audio of those guys in their own words.
Wow.
And this is, I interviewed him from jail before his trial. I have that on my uncensored website, ivoryhacker.com. And he was kind of telling Americans, we really got to wake up at this point in history and stop watching The Bachelor and realize what is happening to our world with the crazy corruption. But classified documents, easy way to lock someone away. It's a super egregious crime. You don't have to really prove it to the public because you just say it's classified. You can't look at it.
Yeah.
But this guy did a no. Off to prison he goes.
Wow.
So I saw it happen to him. I saw them attempt that against Trump as Trump was gearing up to announce his run for office again.
Right.
And I think that now it's Biden's turn because the Democrats are fed up with him being a poor example of them. And it's he's just getting a little too obvious. It's just like, you realize he received 12 million more votes than any president in history.
Right.
This guy.
From our rectums. Yes.
The second runner-up is prior to Trump, because Biden 2020 got 81 million. Trump got 74 million. The prior record winner prior to that was Obama in 2008. Gotten 69 million, as I recall. So 69 million was the previous winner until 2020, when Biden gets 81 million votes.
Right.
Toppling Trump at 74 million. And he has, he doesn't have fans.
Right. He's got paid fans. It's funny. It's not funny. When I was in Uvalde, when all of that was
The
going
shooting.
on. Yeah, I actually was there when he visited the Catholic church, and it was funny because like it was like me and like another person, another independent journalist there, but we could tell like there was a lot of like people who seemed like over enthusiastic about Joe Biden, and we were like, these people just seem like paid.
Oh wow,
it's funny, but what has me very curious is like how this will all play out, because obviously we've had the Hunter Biden drips like for the past few years now. What, since 2020 is when like the first Hunter Biden files started coming out. But I've observed that methodically, like these news agencies or publication houses like Daily Mail, they actually have like a copy of the hard drive, and they've been like dripping this information over time. They haven't like put it all out there. It's like time to time they'll drip it. So it's going to make it very interesting to see how all of this plays out with these glowy documents that have been planted in allegedly in Biden's house.
We know the FBI has been aware and kind of turning a blind eye about the Hunter Biden thing.
Right.
We'll see if now they just unleash everything. Okay,
Exactly.
It's time to nuke Biden. Let's dump it all.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah,
we've been holding back.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Because we need to oust him, get a more reputable Democrat in there to have a chance in hell against Trump or DeSantis or whoever it is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know that they really care too much, because like, again, like why wouldn't they have done this years back? Like when he was already like mentally incapacitated, they could have.
Well, I think they were still using him as the little pawn face to, try to pass radical agendas.
Right.
Like, the borders been flooded. Like, oh, sorry, because we have a loony guy there. That's why it's happening.
Right.
So pass all their radical things for a couple of years, blame the loony guy, ditch the loony guy, and then say, we're sorry for the loony guy. Now we have a good Democrat who's going to fix the loony guy stuff, so vote for us.
Could be it. I mean, who knows? Could be it. We're living through a movie.
We are.
It's hilarious.
Okay, it's Friday the 13th. What's your biggest superstition?
My biggest superstition. Okay, so this has been a superstition that really has been fed by my mom since I was a kid, but it's don't put your purse on the ground.
Why?
Because she says that it'll drain your financial energy.
What?
Yeah, but of course, like now it's like, I don't believe that so hard anymore. But like I remember, like growing up, that was like the biggest superstition. I never used to put my purse or let my purse sit on the ground.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not a very superstitious person about little things like that at all. So, but I would say my biggest superstition would be astrological. People who know me know that I'm really into astrology, which in some ways can be superstitious. Although I think it's kind of a science. Like I think the real astrologers they've got it down to a science. When you look at the various planets of a person, it pretty much nails it. Even just looking at their sun and moon, you can predict their tendencies. If you know their sun and moon, like I'm giving you a heads up, you're more apt to act this way about this scenario. So I think it's pretty scientific, but I am, I'm superstitious about astrology. We're in Mercury retrograde right now. Mercury retrograde comes 3 times a year. And the word is that when it comes, everyone's mind is a little more clouded.
Yeah.
We make worse decisions during this time unless we really focus and clear our heads. But when I was at Fox, our traffic anchor said that she analyzing the roads every day, she could tell that during Mercury retrograde, there were more car crashes because people's minds are more clouded. So they make bad decisions on the road. They also make bad decisions in relationships. There's like breakups. Don't sign a contract during a Mercury retrograde because you're going to sign off on something you regret.
Oh no.
So this is what they say. And the word is the way that you can protect yourself from the chaotic energy of Mercury retrograde is by doing selfless acts of service to others, which raises your vibe and surrounds you with an aura of love and protects you and clears your mind. I love that. Look, a reason to do acts of service to help the world. I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that not just during Mercury retrograde. I don't know anything about astrology, but I think that's the way to live life, is like do things for other people and be selfless. I think that should be a daily aspiration.
Totally. And so the other astrological superstition I have is that like just that me and water signs don't really mix. And like if I'm friends with a water sign, or God forbid dating one, it's only a matter of time before things are gonna pop off. It's not gonna go well, because an Aquarius living in their nature will trigger the emotions of a water sign at some point. They're gonna flip out at us.
Interesting. Yeah, I would say this is superstitious. It's pretty on the level of my purse.
And let me just say, there have been eligible bachelors when I find out that they're a water sign, I shoot them down.
Oh wow!
Can't do it.
Wow.
Can't do it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's so that's my superstition.
Cool beans.
But no, I'll be friends. I will be friends with a water sign. I always hope for the best.
Yeah.
But I approach with caution. Date one, probably not, unless you have a crazy good moon sign. So you can see I sound pretty superstitious right now. So that's my superstition, astrology.
Interesting.
Yeah. Speaking of dating, we got the new dating app out. The Right Stuff.
The Right Stuff.
Okay, I got Natalie on The Right Stuff.
You did.
So the creator of The Right Stuff invited me to join, and I said at the time, I was like, let's do it. I'm single AF.
Yeah.
So I joined the app a few months ago, and then I was like, Natalie, you got to try it out. Okay, so like, what's your take? Yeah, at first she's like, I'm not going to do it.
Well, first of all, if you're single, you're a male, and you believe in the things we believe, get on the app, because there's not a lot of guys on there.
There's not too many, especially
guys on there.
There's not local guys. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll chat with someone on the other side of the country.
Right.
We'll see if we ever meet.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's the only bummer, is like, I wish that there were a lot more guys on there. Right now, it's just kind of like, I mean, I do periodically check to see, are there any new contenders? But yeah, locally.
Yeah,
I
remember I asked her. Okay, I asked Natalie about it. She's like, well, I already scrolled through everyone. There's no more guys left.
I
got to the bottom of the feed.
Yeah, I sent you a screenshot. There are no more contenders in your area, and my range is like 100 miles plus. So it's like anybody over across the country. But yeah, I mean,
other than that, I really like the app, and I had never done a dating app before.
Yeah.
And so this is branded as a dating app for conservatives or right wingers, and I thought, my experience was that the guys on there were super like just eligible and respectful.
Yeah.
And they were really, really nice, lovely little conversations that didn't go anywhere ultimately.
Interesting.
But they were very nice. And I got drinks with some girlfriends, and one of them was complaining about the dating apps because they're on like Hinge and Bumble, and they're like, these guys are so gross with their pickup lines and just like not very respectful.
Yeah. See,
and I was like, well, you got to try this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a better prospect. I'll say that for sure, because you don't have that necessary step to like filter. Are your views the same as my views? It's like everybody has generically like at least center to center right to right type of views on this app, right? So which is nice, because you don't have to work so hard to find out and extrapolate like, are you this or that, blah blah blah, right? So I mean, I just wish there were more guys on there. So if you are conservative, shameless plug. So if you are a conservative guy, you're Christian, and you want to get on the app, find me on there. I'm on there. So where's
Apparently, you
somewhere.
have to get invited by someone.
I
By
didn't know
someone
that.
who's already on there. That's what
Get
I'm learning
invited.
because when I shouted it out on my Instagram, my DMs were full of people being like, "I'm trying to get on, but it says I need an invite. Can you invite me?" And I was like, "I don't know who you are." But I guess they do that to make sure that it's only a right winger coming on and not a bunch of leftist trolls, because the app got a lot of hate for being right wing.
Oh,
and so they knew they were going to get trolled. So they got to filter people out.
That's smart. That's
Yeah.
smart. I didn't think about that. Okay. Well, but the thing is too now, like it's like, well, how do new conservatives get on there if they don't have a 6 degree of separation person on, like connected? On
Exactly.
The app somehow?
This is probably why there's like not a lot of people on there because they have that limit where you have to be invited.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's an issue.
I don't know. It's either that or I need to go to the Young Republicans Club in Houston.
Oh, really? Oh, they have
I don't know.
that?
Yeah, they have. Well, they have a Young Republicans Club in Houston, but I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do.
Yeah,
I'm
it's hard to meet someone. Yeah.
Gosh, what a struggle. But you know what though? What I will say is I am glad that all of this happened while I was single, because you get to like see like where people's heads are at.
Oh, on the app, like see who they are?
Well, not necessarily just the app, but just in general, like about, their views politically, like what did they believe throughout the planned apocalypse, like
the planned apocalypse.
Yeah,
I love
like
that.
what do they think now? Like it's a very interesting time to be single, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it is, and it's interesting for me. Like I don't have a problem. Like me and leftists never run into each other for some reason. Like I do have a couple of friends who are like left wing and it's all good. But like, as far as boys, like only right wing men like approach me.
Cool.
And if I go on a date, I just assume they're right wing because they always are.
Yeah.
But we're in Texas, guys. It's not that way everywhere. But in Texas, it's like, and like not a single guy believed in the planned apocalypse or anything. So it's nice.
Cool.
But yeah. But no, so I ended up meeting a guy. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah.
A while ago. So I was like, should I say how we met? I don't know if I should say how we met. Did I tell you how we met?
Yeah, you did.
So I was like, I've been working from home recently, and I was like, I need like a pet in this house. And so I was like, let me try dog sitting. So I signed up for the Rover app to be a dog sitter.
Yeah.
And I was his dog sitter. And that's how we met.
Yeah.
But so we met on an app. We met on a freaking app.
I kind of love that though, because it is kind of like it is organic, like you didn't expect, you didn't go into the, I'm gonna date somebody from the Rover app.
Right. I was just looking for a furry friend.
Yeah.
And his dog was adorable, and he was awesome too.
You got the man's best friend and the man's.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I should get on the Rover.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe I should get on the Rover. Yeah, but I almost told myself I vowed like I would never get back on dating apps because they have been so cumbersome and like tiring, and like it's just
really
too much. Yeah.
I thought I had so much fun when I got on that app. I was like, this is so
But this
cool.
one in particular, this one is good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
It was just such a fun vibe.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'd never had experience with that. But we'll see.
What
happens.
We'll see what happens.
Millennial single life. It's like the broken generation of dating.
23. Through the Great Awakening. Yeah, single life through the Great Awakening.
My goodness. Is he awoken?
Is he awoken? I sure hope so. I sure hope so in many ways than just one. Yeah.
All right, everyone. So check out Natalie. Should I link your dating site down below?
Sure.
I don't think you can do that.
Believe me, I think you're just gonna come across me because there's not a lot of people on it.
All right.
But if you see a chick that looks like Wednesday Addams on there, that's probably me.
Yes. If you're single and eligible, slide in her DMs, guys. Link down below.
Send me a like.
All right. So fun. All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks for watching Truth Bombs.
Bye, guys.